Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you. I'm sorry that we were a little late, but we would like to welcome you to tonight's event, which is a recipe for hope, building a foundation for elevation. So tonight I have the pleasure of talking with some of our state coordinators, some of our members of the P.I.W., some of our elders, and we also are in wonderful company of our leader and teacher, Rabbi Deborah Bowen. She will be joining the conversation with us tonight. So welcome to our wind down here on Tuesday as we have an open discussion. If you're at home, grab a glass of wine. Let me just take a sip for my nerves, right? So we would like to just thank you for joining us tonight on this discussion. So yes, grab a glass of wine, relax, right? And just enjoy the conversation for tonight. So tonight's conversation is going to be fueled by some questions, right? Some questions that will allow us to get an understanding of who we are as a people, as Israelite women, how we are feeling as Israelite women, what are our thoughts, what are our concerns as Hebrew women. So we are just going to jump right into it because we are running a little late. But before we do that, I just want to thank the Most High for my life. I would like to thank the Most High for the lives of everyone here on the line. I would like to thank the Most High for the lives of everyone out in YouTube land. And I just pray that the Most High will bless our conversation and that he will just even bless our efforts in helping us raise money for the American Cancer Society. I give all honor and all praises unto the Most High. Hallelujah. So yes. So what we are going to do is we are going to go around the room to get acquainted with everyone, right, that we have here on the line tonight. And who I'm going to call on first is our Rabbi Deborah Bowen, to just say shalom and to tell us a little bit about herself and what she does and who she is.
Shalom. Thank you so much, Hayafa. First of all, I want to commend the committee on having put together such an amazing, wonderful conference. And I love the fact that, incidentally, could you have somebody Grubhub me some wine? Because I don't have any wine over here. And I'm jealous of drinking yours. Okay. But I am, as all of you know, I am the executive director of a phenomenal Israelite Women's Conference, and I thank the Eternal that He has allowed me to be a part of you amazing, wonderful women. What do I do? Whatever my hands find to do. I also need to identify myself as the individual who allowed Rabbi Baruch to win the cooking contest last year so he would feel better about himself. And there will be no such accommodations made this year. We intend to take the banner home for having the best food in the cookout. But also, I'm just proud to be a part of such amazing organization. I don't know if there's anything like this in the Israelite community, but this is the Hashem himself bringing Israelite women together, teaching us how to love and interact with one another. We put down our swords, we picked up plow shields in order that we could plant seeds of righteousness. And so I thank you all for allowing me to be a part of this. And is my time up yet? How much did you say? I had a half hour to talk? I didn't hear anybody laugh.
No, not a half an hour, Rabbi, but we definitely would like for you to just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, was that
For
enough?
people who don't know.
We were muted. That's why you couldn't hear us laughing, but we were laughing.
Oh. Was that enough for me to tell, or what else would you like to know?
I think, did you say what your congregation and all that, where you're located?
We're in Philadelphia. We're in part of Mount Airy, and we have a very eclectic group of individuals, mainly made up of young professionals and older individuals who are committed to Hashem and the law, and also are very diverse. We have Native Americans, and we have Latino Americans, and we have Blacks, and we have Europeans. And we come together, very eclectic group, come together, and we worship Hashem with total disregard for whatever someone else may perceive as differences. And we've been in existence for 72 years, and the Almighty has blessed our efforts with success. We hope that our community will continue to exist for another 72 years. Certainly not under my leadership, but the Almighty will raise up someone to carry the banner and carry forth what we do. So that's it about me. I'm also the wife of Rabbi Buna, and I have 5 sons. And I keep growing every year. I keep getting more now. I went on vacation this year and I came back. I have 7 sons and several daughters that the Almighty gave to me. 2 I brought in the world by birth, and the others the Almighty gave to me. And all of them are as precious to me as the others. So, done.
Toda, Rabbi, Toda, for allowing us to get to know you a little bit more, or for those who have never met you. Thank you for joining the conversation tonight, and we are going to move on. So the next person I'm going to call on is, let me see who's in the room. I'm going to call on Deborah Mack.
My namesake.
Yes. Good afternoon. Good evening. I say good afternoon because I'm currently in Los Angeles, and it is indeed afternoon. So a little bit about me. My name, Deborah Mack. I am by day a vice president of student accounts for a theater college located in both New York and Los Angeles, which is why I'm currently here. I'm at work. And by night, sometimes I'm that by night too. I am a personal financial analyst and a seamstress. I am on paper, I am the treasurer of B'nai Adath Kobe Israel. In actuality, I just do all kinds of stuff that they happen to throw my way because they think I'm glue and they just throw stuff at me. But we are, as you all know, a struggling congregation. We lost our temple some years ago, and we are working hard to rebuild. So we are in the midst of fundraising. We're in our 68th year, and hoping to continue on for many, many more. And we're in kind of towards the last phase, hopefully, of where we need to go to get to that part of rebuilding. We are working with developers to see who we are going to get to assist us in our rebuilding. I have been a member of Phenomenal Women. I don't even know how many years, but I've enjoyed every one of them, however many years it's been. And I look forward to all the things that we do. And I'm half of the New York team, the coordinating team, and we are going to be doing some events, fundraising for the conference, which will be tonight or tomorrow. We'll get the save the dates out. November, I believe it's the 12th, and Shani, you can correct me, okay, if I'm wrong. And in January, we will be doing a game night, and then in January, we'll be doing the Love Thyself event again. I think that's pretty much it that I can say right now. So I will pass the baton.
Yes, Tora. All right. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Bormack is one of the state coordinators for New York City. So if you are watching online and you reside in the New York City area, and you need more information about the PIW, she is one of the people you can contact to touch base with in reference to that. Yes.
One more thing. Because I'm not at home, I had to substitute my champagne for this smoothie. So I'm not that happy, but I'm soldiering on.
We'll give you some grace tonight. All right, so moving along, the next person I am going to call is IMA Judith Samuels to just tell us who she is, a little bit about herself.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me all right. I'm recovering from a cold, so I might cough. I'm apologizing. I beg your pardon, in the beginning, in case I do. Just a little bit about who I am. I am the youngest daughter of Rabbi Lamech and Rabbinite Maddie Samuels. I am an original member, my family, I should say, are original members of Commandment Keepers Ethiopian Hebrew Congregation of Harlem, New York, that was founded over 100 years ago. I have always stayed connected to my Israelite community, and I try to engage with Israelites wherever they are. I'm retired, I'm 80 years old now. So I do a lot of volunteer stuff right now. Wherever I'm needed, I come and help. And I love interacting with my own community. I was born and raised in Harlem, and I still live here. I've always lived here. Even when I got married, and my in-laws thought that they had a house, and they thought that I was going to move out 2 houses, as a matter of fact. But I chose to stay in Harlem. So that will tell you something about who I am. It will tell you something about my temperament, and it will tell you something about my outlook. And I always tell my daughter, I said, had she grown up in Harlem, the Harlem I grew up in, she would understand my affection for the place. Even though it's very different, I still love the community. That's basically all. Also, I always like to remind everybody I am a member of the P.I.W, have been for years. Love the organization, think that it is so very important. I love the fact that it's pulling women from all of our community together, with different ideas, maybe different outlooks in terms of how we approach our way of life. And the other thing I always tell my daughter, I refuse to call this a religion, and it's not. It's a way of life, and that's the most important thing about being an Israelite. If you understand that about being an Israelite, you understand everything that it means. So we have a way of life, and I'm always interested in people who share this way of life, and how they go about. I don't want to say practicing, but living this way of life, because sometimes it varies from community to community. So the more that we interact with each other, we learn. That's basically, unless you have questions, that's basically who I am.
Toda Ima, Toda for letting us know who you are. I also would like to note that Ima Judith Samuels is our spiritual advisor within the Phenomenal Israelite Women's organization. So yes. So the next person I would like to call on is our Gerrit Magdiel.
Shalom, shalom, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
How's everybody doing? My name is Magdiel. I am a mother of 4, an almost empty nester. I also teach music. And what else do I do? I play music. I teach music. I love to work with the youth all through Israel, no matter where they are. I thoroughly enjoy motivating the youth. I thoroughly enjoy bringing the youth together from wherever they may be. And I love music, and I love teaching music. I've been in this way of life for almost 30 years, and there just is no other way. I am honored to be able to be a part of the discussion today, and I enjoyed being a part of the taping that Hayafa had a little while back. And I'm excited that I will be finally attending my very first Phenomenal Israelite Women's conference after all these years. I'm not sure why it took me so long, but I'm glad that it's here. And me and my daughter are excited, and we're looking forward to it. And that's just a little bit about me. Shalom.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Magdiel. What she may not say about herself, I'm going to say about her. She is a phenomenal musician, a phenomenal choir director. She is a phenomenal artist. So yes, thank you, Gerrit Magdiel, for joining the conversation tonight. The next person I am going to call on is our sister, Akot Tamar Yisrael.
Shalom, shalom, everybody. Oh, this is always so hard talking about yourself, right? So yes, I am Tamar Yisrael. I am originally from Brooklyn, New York. I have lived in Charlotte, North Carolina for the past 4 years, along with my 2 daughters and my mother. I am an educator by trade. And what else do I do? Oh, I'm a PIW coordinator, a state coordinator for North Carolina and South Carolina, right? How can I forget that, right? That's why we're all here. What else do I do? Oh my goodness, so many things. But I'm gonna just leave it with that. I do a lot of different things, event planning within the community, outside of the community. That is one of my businesses that I have. I'm excited to be here this evening. Sisterhood and female empowerment is very near and dear to my heart. So I'm always wanting to be a part of conversations where we are amplifying one another and just empowering one another and just letting the world see that we can do a lot of great things if we're doing it together. I think I covered basically who I am.
I think so. Thank you, Akot Tamar. Tamar is one of my sisterhood sisters out in North Carolina. She's also part of Eshet Kayil in Hashava Yisrael, and she is a phenomenal event planner. Look out for Women on the Rise in March of 2023. So the next person I am going to call on is hold on. Is our sister Yiska Yehuda. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Shalom, everyone. My name is Yiska. I originally was born and raised in Sumter, South Carolina, currently residing in Chester, South Carolina. Have been in this way of life all of my life. Our congregation is in Chester, South Carolina, under the leadership of my father, Kohelet Ben Yehuda. On the professional level, I am an entrepreneur, independent contractor, licensed health agent, licensed in multiple states, including North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, Texas, Tennessee, Louisiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, and expanding. Have been doing that for well over 10 years. And I have also owned and operated my own tax service for the last 10 years as well. Very new to the understanding and the organization of P.I.W., but I am excited about the things I'm hearing and the great work that you all are doing. I'm a mother of 2. I am in my community, for lack of a better word, praise and worship leader. I am the singer there, and that's pretty much all about me.
All right, Toda Yiska Yehuda for sharing a little bit something about yourself. Or what I'm going to say, what you're not going to say, is that you are a phenomenal vocalist, and I love to listen to your praise and worship time that you have before the Creator. All right, so moving along, we are going to call on our sister Nirkava Yehuda to tell us, Nirkava Israel, to tell us something a little bit about herself.
Shalom, shalom, everyone. All of you guys are well. I'm Nirkava Israel, Nirkava Yehuda, whichever one you want to call me. I been in this way of life for now about 25 years. Absolutely love it and the Creator. Grateful that I have been awakened, if that's what you want to, go with. I originally from originally from Queens, but my original congregation is B'nai Adat in Brooklyn. But I now reside in North Carolina, so I fellowship with Hashaba Yisrael, beautiful congregation. I am a mother of 5. I am a workaholic, that's what you want to call it, and a brand new entrepreneur as well. Just started my own business. I am a sister and a sister, if you know the difference, to many, but a sister to 2, no, to 3. Well, a lot. I don't know really, but yeah. But and just absolutely enjoying my change of environment and enjoying peace, if that's what you want to call it, and just also happy to be a part of the conversation today. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to be presented out on the table. That's it.
All right, Toda Nirkava for joining the conversation, for letting us get a little bit more acquainted with who you are. But of course, she's not going to say what she would say about herself, but she is a phenomenal sister, a phenomenal mother, a very dedicated mother to her family, and we love you for that. All right, so the next person that I am going to call on is our sister Abia, right, to tell us a little bit something about herself.
Shalom, shalom, everyone. This is Abaya. I am born and raised Israelite. I am a part of Congregation Temple Bethel out of Philadelphia. Start my video. Absolutely. Okay. So I am Abaya. Hello, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, hey Timur, how are you? Hi, Rabbi. Hi, Yafa. Hey, Kaya. Hi, everyone. Lady Deborah Mack, how are you? Ima Judith Seniors, how are you? Shoshana, hi. Hi, everyone. Hi, hi, hi. So I am born and raised Philadelphia under the leadership Rabbi Mother Louise Elizabeth Daly, and our current leader is Rabbi Bowen and Dr. Bowen. I am a mother of five. I'm a wife and a mother of five. I have my oldest is in college and my youngest is 7. 4 boys, 1 girl. I am a paralegal. I have a pre-law degree. I'm the executive secretary of P.I.W. And I'm so sorry. I'm just like so new to this and I'm all over the place, guys. I'm trying. But my passion is unity. Unity is my passion. So I absolutely love P.I.W. I absolutely love my community, period. I just love it. My passion is unity. My passion is peace. My passion is growth, understanding, evolving, elevating, and just spiritual elevation really is like my ultimate goal. Becoming one with the Most High because He is one, and just being a great representative of Him and guiding our youth. I'm very, 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 very close to the youth. Some people may look at me as a big kid. I just want to connect with the youth. I don't know what else to say. I'm not really good at talking about myself. I don't know what else to say. I just know I'm a Baya and I'm an Israelite. I'm a phenomenal Israelite woman.
Toda Abaya. So yes, I just it's okay. I would like to say what she is not going to say, and basically that she is a phenomenal secretary to the PIW, and we love her. So next, moving along, I am going to call on Shoshana Levy to come on camera and to tell us a little bit something about herself. All right, maybe she's not ready. I'm going to call on our sister, Kaya Baker, to come on and tell us a little bit something about herself.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I was part of the conversation, but shalom, everyone. How are you doing? My name is Kaya Baker. Ima Judith is my mother. Born into this way of life from Harlem, New York. You know, Harlem, we represent real hard over here. I'm the assistant director for the Phenomenal Israelite Women's Organization. I am a mother of 1. Of a magnificent young lady, and her name is Leah, who I love so much. Come from a very big family. Professionally, I am a program director for a mental health program here in New York. We service men and women in New York, ages starting 18 and up. We help them with housing, and all kinds of things. So I'm just happy to be here. Didn't know I was a part of the conversation, thought I was still doing the IT thing over here, but I'm happy to give my input anywhere I can. So shalom, everyone.
Toda, ooh, was there echo? Toda Kaya for letting us know a little bit about yourself, and of course what she is not going to say about herself that I am going to say, that she is a phenomenal leader, right? She is a phenomenal leader amongst us all, from being a state coordinator to being part of the webinar committee to overall being part of the Phenomenal Israelite Women's Organization. I would like to thank you, and I'm sure we all would like to thank you for your amazing leadership. So last but not least, I am going to call on Shoshana. Are you available to come on to tell us a little bit something about yourself? We need to spotlight you with your video.
So I'm laying here with a hot bag on my back. I don't feel good, but my name is Shoshana Levy. I'm from Benny-Adad. Most of you didn't get a chance to meet my mom because she had a stroke before Hashaba and Benai merged. But she was the quiet storm behind IMA and everybody knows her. I'm just a little old school bus driver, but I love when I'm able to give my morning greeting. I feel I've missed it. I don't know if everybody has heard me. A few people have, a few people haven't, but I try to get everybody uplifted. You know, the early bird catches the worm, to giving praise to the creator. So this is my picture. It is me. And I don't know what else to really talk about except that I try to be a good sheep to Rabbi Baruch.
Yes, Toda for letting us get a little bit more acquainted with you. And of course, what she is not going to say about herself, I am going to say about her, that I love to be under her voice when she is praying to the Creator, because she is a prayer warrior. So she is a phenomenal prayer warrior. And I would like to thank you for joining the conversation tonight. All right, so moving right along. So let me see. Kaya, I don't know if
I'm here.
okay. I don't know if I was trying to help out with the spotlight and the things, but I don't know if I can do that anymore. All right.
Still doing the IT thing back here. Don't worry, I got you.
Okay. So last but not least, I think I am the last person on here. I'm not sure if, yeah, I am the last person. So yes, my name is Hayafa Ruach. Some of my childhood friends and dear friends to me call me Rocky. And I am currently, well, I used to reside in Queens, Long Island City, Queens, New York, in that famous project of Queensbridge. And now I reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been here since 2017. I am a mother. I have a son. His name is Zeria. He is the world famous drummer that you might see on YouTube and all over and on DCB. Yes, that's my son. And my parents are Adon Yeroa, Zaquane Yeroa, and Zaquena Dina Yehuda. And I have been in this way of life all my life. I'm currently part of Hashaba Yisrael here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a part of the Eshekayo Sisterhood. That is a sisterhood that is part of Hashaba Yisrael. And what else? And I am a PIW member. I am the state coordinator for North Carolina and South Carolina, along with Tamar Yisrael. And I am a part of the webinar committee, which is the committee that put together this week-long event, our Mind, Body, and Soul. This is our third Mind, Body, and Soul Health Awareness Week. So yeah, so we're gonna, and I'm gonna be a host for tonight, and we're just gonna jump right into the conversation. So what I have here, all right, is a box filled with some questions.
And you're not gonna say nothing about you being the awesome self-care maven that you actually are, the way you teach everybody how to love and be joyful and glad about praising the Most High. You're not gonna tell anybody about how inspirational you are in a lot of sisters' lives. You're not gonna say nothing fabulous about the phenomenal woman that you are.
Publication on self-care.
On top of that, and she is also the great chairperson for this week, and she is doing her thing. She has put these
Absolutely.
programs together. She
I am
has
so glad my
all
camera
the-
was off because I just was giving you all the tools because I'm just trying to figure out here. This girl is absolutely amazing. She has been
amazing.
she has been a serious staple in my life when it comes to just being a sister to me. She is my children's actual family, you know, so she's actual family. But this girl is absolutely amazing. She wears many hats. She wears them well. Same thing like Shoshana. I don't even know why we be just like downgrading ourselves, but these women are absolutely amazing. Like seriously.
Fabulous seamstress,
Thank
published
you.
Yes,
publication out there on self-care.
like, come on, man.
Yes.
Come on
Know
now.
that outfit you have on now, how y'all, but don't be downing yourself. That's
That's
right.
right.
Listen, you know,
A
you
glass
started.
to our sisters. Raise
I
a
have to
glass.
add my
Whoever has
voice to
a glass.
that.
I
I
have
have
a
to add my voice to
Yes,
that.
raise a
Really
glass.
working.
This girl is absolutely
Yes, raise
phenomenal.
a
Absolutely.
glass.
Yes.
Everything you
Thank
ask her to
you.
do,
Thank
she
you,
do
ladies.
it. She do it to the max. She does it to the max. Anything she's asked to
Anything
do,
she does
yes.
to the
I,
max and with
I,
joy and gladness
yes,
of serving the Lord.
yes,
That is just
absolutely,
like the
absolutely.
most important part. Everything she does is to serve the Lord. And I don't even believe you just downgraded yourself.
Oh my goodness.
We're not gonna let her. We won't let her. That's what sisters are about, right?
That's
That's
We
right.
won't
yes,
let her.
that's what this is all about. That's why we have to come together as sisters so that we can remind each other how fabulous and how wonderful and how phenomenal we are. You know, when you're talking about yourself, is you. I ain't writing nothing down. You know what I'm saying? I ain't write my whole list down, but it's truly an honor to be a servant of the Creator. That's what I aim to do, is to serve the Creator and his peoples. And of course, my motto is to do it with joy and gladness, no matter what's going on. It is my motto and my mantra, right? To serve the Creator and his people with joy and gladness. So Toda, thank you. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. So what we're gonna do, right, is so let me just say, first of all, that this idea came about from a show that I viewed on YouTube, right? Hello, YouTube. And it was called A Recipe for Change. And it had a lot of famous people in this event, which was a dinner that was coordinated at 3 different locations amongst some very prominent women within the music space, the author space, you know, the cooking. Some of the famous people were Mary J. Blige, Tabitha Brown. That's what I can remember right now, but it was quite a few women. So what they did was they had a roundtable discussion, and the discussion was based on it was based. I don't think I'm spotlighted.
Yes, you are.
Okay, it was based on asking questions. The conversation was based on asking questions about, you know, where we are in life, how we feel about certain subjects and things like that. So we set out to, across the different states, to mimic that same type of style of dinner and discussion. So we will air our dinner and discussion at a later date, but we wanted to come on and just have the discussion live, right? So we can continue on the conversation. The Phenomenal Israelite Women's Organization is all about, you know, growing, right? Inspiring each other, supporting each other, you know, just so that we can be the best woman that we could be, no matter where you are in life. So we have, our organization spans from Israel to Puerto Rico to, you know, all the different states, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, the DMV area. So we just wanted to come on and have a conversation before everyone, to spark conversations, right, amongst everyone that is around the world, right? Come together, bond with your sister, break bread with your sister, and just enjoy some enlightening conversation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a question from the box, and I'm going to pull the question from the box, and then the people that are on our inside our Zoom room are going to raise their hand so that they can answer the question. We just ask that you keep your answer limited to no more than 2 minutes, so that we can have a nice flow and get through our questions. All right. So I am going to, it's not numbered. I don't know what I'm going to pull. So if you are on YouTube, spark the conversation in the chat. Answer the question, what it means to you, or whatever you would like to say when it comes to the different questions that are being pulled. All right. So these are the questions. All right. And here is my first question. All right, so the first question is, what are 2 of the most important lessons you've learned in your life? If a young person came to ask you, what's the most important thing for living a good life, what would you say? So the first part is, what are 2 of the most important lessons you've learned in your life? Kai, I see you spotlighted. All right, I see my sister Magdiel has raised her hand. Okay, I see 2 hands. So first I am going to call on Sister Magdiel.
Shalom again. I'm going to apologize in advance. I needed to take the first question because I have a performance to attend soon, musician life. It's always something going on. So if I heard the question correctly, name 2 things that you've learned throughout your life. Did I get that right?
Yes, 2 most important lessons you've learned in your life.
And if it was a young person was to come to me, what would I
The
say
most
to
important
them?
thing, what's the most important thing for living a good life?
To live in a good life. For living a good life, integrity. Integrity is extremely important. Status and money and all of those things are great, but being a person of integrity is extremely important. It follows you wherever you go. And as you move through life, the conversations that take place when you're not present, when you're a person of integrity, you'd be surprised the impact that you will leave on people. So being able to be the person, I guess, in front of everyone, being able to be the same person behind closed doors. Integrity is extremely important. And it's something that from young, I may not have known what it was from young, but it's something that I realize it holds high value. And I guess maybe with a younger person, they may not exactly understand it, but it's definitely something that it would be food for thought. And the second thing is procrastination is, I don't know what a good um, metaphor would be to use for it, but procrastination is the cause of a lot of wasted time. We feel like we have a lot of time. And when I was younger, I would hear people older than me say, by the time you blink, you're going to wake up and all these years are going to be gone. Don't procrastinate with things. Do it. Go ahead and do it. I'm currently now finally in college. again for about the third time, but I'm finally getting my certification in something that I've been doing for years. And it was just a matter of putting it off. Oh, I'll have time. Oh, it'll, there'll be time. And I don't have any regrets, but it definitely will help you reach your goal faster than taking so long to get there. So, like they tell you, the saying says, take your time, but hurry up. That is key. Don't procrastinate. Be a person of integrity, and try not to procrastinate with the things that you put forth to do. And the third one is, I know you said too, be proud of the foundation you have. A lot of our youth nowadays have the privilege that we didn't have, to be born into this way of life. And be proud of the foundation you have, because you may move through life and there'll be changes that take place, but because of that foundation, you won't waver as much. People won't be able to just knock you off your tilter. Be very proud of the solid foundation. Take pride in that foundation. And it'll take you a long way in life.
I
Those
like
are
that.
those important things to me. My 51 years of wisdom, I guess.
I like that. I like that. Thank you for sharing with us tonight. Thank you for being the first one to jump on in there,
Yeah.
right?
I'm sorry I
Um,
have to go, guys. I wish I could be here to listen to the whole thing, but I definitely have to be in the at the other recital hall in the next 20 minutes.
okay, well, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks again for joining us tonight. Of course, the replay will be here, on YouTube. So when you get finished with that, then you can come back and you can view the rest of the conversation, right? And
Shalom,
congratulations
everybody.
on the recital. I hope everyone does well.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we have another hand. We have our sister Abaya, who has raised her hand and would like to answer that question. We just ask that you keep it to 2 minutes.
Ma'am. So if I can narrow it down to two things, I would say, keep the Most High first. That's non-negotiable. Learning that in my 33 years of life, you got to keep the Most High first. It's non-negotiable. It really is non-negotiable. Keep him first. The other thing that I would say is be still and let him fight it. Like whatever is going on, he already knows what's going to happen, and he created you and he knows that you can handle yourself. But in certain instances where you just have to be steadfast, unmovable, trusting in the Most High, like completely, utterly with your whole being, and let him fight your battle. Like literally stand still and let him fight your battle. Be quiet and be still. And if I wasn't going to bring up procrastination, that wasn't on my mind, but my previous sister, she just mentioned procrastination, and she was like, she couldn't think of a metaphor. But one thing that is my mantra is procrastination is the assassination of our dreams and goals. And so I kind of live by that. When I was doing like life insurance and indexed annuities, I did that for like 2 years. And we would say that over and over and over again. So I would say that if it's something that's going on and you got a gut feeling, go on and do it. And hey, you'll find out if it's not for you. But procrastination is the assassination of our dreams and goals. So I would say that.
I like that. I like that. Thank you for sharing that with us. All right, so we are going to move along and we're going to go to the next question. All right, let me see. All right, we're going to go to the next question, and I have my box. So I'm just going to go over some of the answers. It was integrity, be proud of your foundation, no procrastination, put the Most High first. Most High will fight for you. And procrastination is the assassination of our dreams and goals, if I got that correct. All right, so I'm going into my little thing. And the next question is, what is your first reaction when you hear the phrase strong Black woman? What is your first reaction when you hear the phrase strong Black woman? Do I have any takers on that? I'm looking to see who is raising a hand. All right, so I see Ima Judith Samuels is raising her hand. You can unmute.
Oh, yes, I'm unmuted now. When I used to hear that expression, I thought of it as a compliment, but lately I don't see it as a compliment. To me, it's almost like putting something on us that an expectation that we shouldn't have. We should. I think our strength is in our womanhood, in our femininity. That's where our strength is. And I think when you hear that expression, strong Black woman, it comes across as being other than needing the support that we need, just like everyone else, needing to look at things from the perspective of our needs, and what we are able to give. So that strong Black woman, to me, has gotten over the years not a good connotation. It's like, yeah, they can take it, they can take whatever, that's a strong Black woman. And I no longer see it as a compliment, if you can follow what I'm saying. I no longer see it as a compliment. And moreover, it depends on who's saying it. What does that mean exactly, a strong Black woman? What it has meant to me in the past is that, okay, they can take whatever is thrown at them. And then we don't get all the support, not only from our men sometimes, but from the world in general, when they throw that label on us as strong Black women. Like we're supposed to be able to put up with and take any and everything. So that's how I have evolved over the years, thinking about that. It just briefly, it just no longer sounds like a compliment to me.
I hear you, Ima. I hear you. I am going to call on another person who has raised their hand, someone who has not spoken yet. I'm going to call on Tamar Yisrael.
Yes, yes, yes. I am in total agreement with Ima Judith. As I have evolved and gone through life experiences, the way that I feel about that term now is totally different than when I was younger. And I think when we're saying it to one another, right, it means something totally different than, as she mentioned, if men are saying it about us and, the world in general is saying it about us. It has taken on such a negative, look now, because even with us, sometimes we have to be careful with saying that to one another, because then, your sister could be going through something and you may never know, or you may not take it as serious because oh, that sister is strong, she got this. When she really, in that moment does not have it all together. She needs some type of support. So I think we do have to be careful even with one another with saying that about each other, just making sure that we're actually checking in. And I know for me, I remember, I will never forget this guy told me, he's like, you are too independent. And I was like, huh, what do you mean? So I was carrying in groceries, struggling, right? No, I'm struggling. No, I need the help, right? But because I was raised on that, okay, I can do this, I'm strong, I don't need the help. I didn't look at it like he was really just trying to help me out. I was like, nah, I got this. But then he's like, you being too independent. And I said, am I? Maybe I am. So for me, I took on that feeling of, okay, I am this strong Black woman. I can do anything. I can take on anything. And now at 40, I'm able to say, you know what, no, I don't have it all together. I do need a little help. Hey, brother, yeah, you could come get these bags now. I'm not going to struggle no more because I'm trying to prove a point to who. So I am in total agreement with IMA, and I think we just need to really be careful and tread lightly when using that term nowadays.
I just want to add something to that. Exactly. I have a brief example. One time I was getting a lot of office supplies, but actually I was bringing a box of office supplies of all kind of office supplies to a place that my daughter was working at, and she and the guy came out of the place to get the box, and she picked up the box, and I said to her, let him pick up that box. And what was so interesting about it is you should have seen the look on his face. He had a look of such pleasure to be able to, this is what we have to learn more, women. He had such a look of pleasure on his face when he picked up the box and just walked inside with it. So also, this strong Black woman, sometimes we're teaching our men how to treat us. No, we have to show a little more vulnerability. When we, I mean, not fake it, but when we feel it, we have to just really be a little more vulnerable. That's just a little small thing, but it can get much deeper in terms of people not being able to see your vulnerability. You know, whether it's men or women, but men too. It's always, like I said, to me in the later years, it became not as such a positive connotation to it.
Toda Ima for sharing that with us. Yes, I mean, I'm in agreement too. I'm definitely one of those people that when people ask me, do I need help? The first thing I say is no. But I stopped doing that. Yes, I do need help. I will ask a stranger, excuse me, can you help me with these bags? Can you help me? So I don't neglect, I don't try to do the struggle bus thing anymore. If someone is around to help me, I'm going to ask them to help me. If they offer to help me, I'm going to say yes. All right, so moving right along, I am going to pull another question from the box. All right. Hold on, we have some people joining us. I'm going to pull another question from the box. All right, we're going to just have only a few people answer each question, so we won't spend too much time on one question. All right, so I'm going for the next one. I love everyone's answers. All right. All right, so this question is, what's your most cherished family tradition? Why is it important? Okay, so what's your most cherished family tradition and why is it important? So I'm just looking here for some hands. All right, I see Yiska has her hands up. I am going to spotlight her.
Okay, I would have to say that my most cherished family tradition would have to be our Friday night Shabbat dinner. And when I say family tradition, it's just not limited to me and my two children, but it includes my parents and my siblings. And this is something that we have just done for years. Something I look forward to getting together, to bringing the Shabbat together, to talk about the goodness of the Most High and how he's kept us, brought us back to the end of another week, ushering in the Shabbat. And so that to me is a treasure of a family tradition that I will take with me throughout my life.
Thank you for sharing that with us. It's one of my favorites as well. Do I have another hand? So, Yiska, is there anything besides talking? Do you do anything else besides expressing your gratitude?
Oh, absolutely. We're going to always begin with a prayer. Then we're going to feast together on Shabbat. And as we're sitting around the table, because it's like almost like round table, everybody's gathered around. Once we've shared our week, we are going to sing songs and just uplift and encourage one another, you know.
Yes, I like that. I like that. All right, do I have another hand? Wait, I see a hand. Hold on. That's Kaya. All right, Kaya.
I always say for us, we do so many things together. Sometimes growing up, I was like, people need to go home. But for a tradition, just something that as a family preparing for Pesach, right? Um, all the preparation of cleaning and shopping. I know that sounds weird. It does sound a little bit weird. Like, you like shopping? I just thought it was just like amazing. You see, this one used to go to get this, and that person would go and get this, and you hear the phone calls. Especially when I was young, I used to hear the phone calls going on between my mother and her sisters, and and this person and my uncle doing this, and this is all before Pesach is coming. It's all in preparation of Pesach or whatever, because it's, so long. It takes a lot to do. And it was a lot of us. I think it was 7 or 8 of them. And so that was just the siblings. And then you had the children, then you had the spouses. So it was just like, and then it was always around my birthday too. So, but it was beautiful. It was just amazing just to see how everything. And then when you sit in there for Seder, and you see how it all just came together. I think that's one of the reasons why today I love to organize things. Being there with my IMA, watching it happen and unfold, and then you see the final touch of it all, and everybody's coming in, and it's just so beautiful. And we're all in our white, and when we were younger, we did it in the temple. Now we do it in our various homes. So when I came back to New York to live, and actually, what birthday was that, Mom? One year they actually all came to Atlanta to have Pesach with me in my birthday. And
That was your 21st birthday.
The
That was your
21st?
21st birthday because you were at school.
I
So
was
we
away in
wanted to,
college.
so we
I
wanted to
was,
do both things. We wanted to
yes.
do both things. Yeah.
And I mean, everybody, I didn't expect all those people. I did not expect all those people. And I mean, it was like, it was beautiful. And
Yeah,
it
it
was
took
just,
a lot of doing. It took a lot of doing. It did. To get everybody to fly down and then put all of that together for Pesach, which
woo,
we're so particular about our menu. So that was not easy. We had stuff shipped down, certain things that we could ship down ahead of time, and then we got what we could when we got there. But yeah, that was a big to do
big to
in
do.
terms of work.
But that always touched my heart. So it was my birthday again. Like I said, my birthday's around Pesach. I'm a Pesach baby. So it was always just that preparation. And then, like she said, and that really, I don't know, she probably was like, why are you not doing nothing? Because I was just sitting in awe of all of the things and everything. And I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. If I get old and I get dementia, I'm going to be talking about Pesach and preparation of Pesach. And when I was whatever age I was, and all of the things. There were so many people. I was waiting for them, and they were coming up the escalator, and then we were getting ready. It was like, wow, this is awesome. So that's one of my favorites is the preparation of getting ready for Pesach. Yeah.
Yes, that is one of my favorites too. I love the preparation of Pesach. Everything is so new and clean and spring and new curtains and new pillows and new. I just feel all over and just do so much newness when it comes to Pesach. So I thoroughly enjoy it too. And you know what? I try to start like early, because I don't like to feel tired once it's time for the Seder. So yes, I thoroughly enjoy that. All right, so moving along, we are going to pull another question. All right, so don't everybody raise their hand at once, okay? All right. So here's the next question. How has your mother figure shaped you on how you show love? How has your mother figure shaped you on how you show love? All right, I see a hand here. I see our Rabbi Deborah Bowen, who is going to answer this question. I'm turning off my camera because we can't spotlight her, but all right, just unmute yourself, Rabbi.
When I saw this question, I realized it was one that was close to my heart. I thought it would be good for me to share with you my feelings on this. I think we have to start with our history, and we need to understand that most of us are the product of slaves. Our people were brought here on ships. We know our history, and we were enslaved. We were not treated as human beings. We were treated as chattel or as property. And so many of the strong women who were raised under this from the South were women who were strong and certainly not, one of the rules were not to show affection. You couldn't get too close to your children. You couldn't show them love and affection because you never knew when you wake up the next morning and the slave master would sell them. So we have many good, sweet parents who were raised in the South who did not, quote unquote, nurture their children in the way that we now do. And that was for fear. They couldn't get too close to their children because they never knew when they were going to lose them. I say that to say this. And when I first got married to my husband's mother, I never got to meet her. But everything that I hear about is just so amazingly wonderful. The one thing that she did not do, and that was, she never expressed, I love you, that kind of thing during my husband's lifetime. And so when we got married, I said to him, I grew up with a mother who everybody was lovey, huggy, kissy. You didn't go to bed at night without him coming in and kissing her. And you didn't hang up the phone without saying, I love you. You didn't go out the door without saying, I love you. My mother was just a loving and ingratiating person. And so I grew up expecting that from people around me. Subsequently, I'm a huggy, kissy, lovey mother for my children. My children expect that out of their wives, that they're going to be lovey, huggy, kissy. But for my husband, I know he loved me, and he knew that his mother loved him, but he did not understand the value of nurturing. I explained to him that I had to be nurtured. Yeah, I need to know. I need to have words expressed. I need to have expressions of love in order to make me a good wife. And so we learned that together. We learned that it's important to express how we feel. Good morning. I love you. You're wonderful. I do my husband's laundry and send it up in the basket. He'll go, thank you so much for doing my laundry. He learned how to live with me and how to be endearing to me, because the way he was raised, that he had everything a child could ever want, and his mother and father made all kinds of sacrifices for him. But the one thing they didn't have is the nurturing. So my mother was a nurturer. She's honey, baby, lovey to everybody. People of Congregation Temple Bethel, if you were a member of Congregation Temple, you got loved and hugged, you got kissed, you got recognized for the small things that you did and the great things that you did. And that set the tone for my life. For those of you who are not nurturers, who, take for granted, he knows I love him, they know I love them, try a little tenderness. Try a little loving. Try a little expressions. Try a little acknowledging that the people in your life are important. Acknowledge the things that they've done. Acknowledge that what they say or do is important to you. And you'd be surprised of the difference it would make in your life. Because when you give out good to others, good comes back to you. And when you deny good to others, good will subsequently be denied to you. It's amazing. So the way that I was influenced to, I was influenced by a great woman, my mother, and then my grandmama. Oh my goodness, my grandmama, 4'11", never weighed 100 pounds, and always just feisty and wonderful. But our family was always full of a lot of love and laughter. And these are important things that shaped how I am today. I hope the people who are around me will say that I am endearing and that I do give love, because that's the pattern that I was given through the women in my life.
Toda Rabbi, Toda for that. And I have to say, having been in your company on several occasions, I have definitely felt the love. I have felt the love of you. I have felt the love of Hashem. I have felt the love of your leadership. So I thank you for expressing that and telling us about your mother and how she has shaped your love for others. I am going to call on the next person. Hand is raised, Ms. Deborah Mack, to come on and
Hi,
share with us.
ladies. So this is a very poignant question. I guess I would have to say, well, I know I would have to say that from my mother, I learned to show love through acts of service. Growing up, my father passed when I was very young. So my mother, she had to raise her 6 children alone. And the things that she did for us showed us that she loved us, but she didn't say that a lot. Mm-hmm. We may have hugged and that type of thing, and so I guess as growing into an adult, you do what you're shown. So looking back, I can say, I know I didn't always tell my children that, like repeatedly. I mean, I did and I do. And even more so, I've learned that through my grandchildren. And many of you know me. I'm not the most touchy-feely person, like initially. And funny thing, when I came into this way of life, that was one of the comments I made to people, like, why these people got to hug you? You know how to hug 99 people before you get to the other side of the room. What is this all about? But I didn't come from that. So even still, but when I got with my husband, who has since passed on, that was something so big with him. If I was on the phone with him or walked out the door and didn't say I love you, he would call me back. I'll be like, yeah, you forgot something. I'm like, what? So I developed that later on to constantly reiterate that to my family, to my friends, to my children, to my grandchildren. And my grandchildren, oh my gosh, they always want to hug you. And even that, like, stop, but, so you do learn those things. But what comes to me naturally that I learned from my mother was through acts of service, to show people with your actions that you love them, that you care for them. And some things are learned behaviors. Like you would be taken aback that people felt that you didn't love them because you're like, I'm always doing this, but words are powerful and they matter. And sometimes that's all people need to hear. They know that. And the people will say, I know you love me because you do X, Y, Z, but they need to hear you say those words. And it's like, but we have to retrain ourselves in a lot of ways to do things that didn't come to us, that we didn't know how to do. So it is important that you express yourselves, because when it comes back to you, you don't recognize it. When you don't hear people say these things to you, you do question it. So we have to look at our own behavior, because it is a learned behavior, to see, because you're going to get as good as you give. And if other people, on the flip side, people can tell you they love you all day long, but if that's all they got for you, then there is that also. So we all have to continue to learn to look at our behavior. So even now, at my tender young age of 61, I still have to take a look and, tell people I love them, as well as many things as I do, because even now for my own children, I'll be like, that little ungrateful so-and-so, because I know all the things I do. But you have to use your words and, as well as your actions to show that. And then it's complete opposite, because I watch my children with their children, and the younger one more so, her and her son, sometimes they're like, well, he's 7 years old. She's like, this kid's sitting on a lap and they're hugging him, looking at them like, that boy is big. And, but it's very apparent when you can see the love from some people. But mind you, when he's home, he's under me 24/7. And people are like, well, because that's your boy, So he gets the as Rabbi said, the touchy-feely love constantly from his mom, but he gets the total acts of service, because my grandchildren will ask me for things before they ask their parents, because they know that's what I give. And then they want a hug, they're going to go to their mom. But they want, a new pair of shoes, they're going to come ask grandma. So, but you have to look at what people need as well and give them that. But just to wrap it up, I learned through acts of service. So that is definitely my love language. And that's the thing that people need to find out too, because then that helps you read a person and to know what they need to, to survive and to move on.
Yes, Toda, for sharing that with us. So yes, I know you personally, so you are a true servant, and I will be the first to say that I appreciate all the things that you do for the community, family, for all your loved ones. All right, so I'm going to take one more hand in reference to this question. All right, I see Emma Judith Samuel's hand is raised, so I'm going to take her, and then we're going to move on to the next question.
I did want to say something about my mother, but if there's someone else, I would defer to them, because I can ask a question answer a question a little later. If there's anyone else with their hand up, I would defer to them.
Okay, no, I don't see another hand, so you can go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to be as brief as I can, because I cannot let this opportunity pass and not speak about my mother. When I speak about my mother and I think of love right now, sometimes I just have to look up at her picture and I'm just amazed. My mother had 7 children. I had 3 brothers and 3 sisters. I'm one of the younger ones. And I was always amazed how I felt her love. Similar to Deborah's mom, she never said, "Oh, I love you." But she showed it in so many ways. Even, first of all, she was the best cook ever. She was a good cook, but she was so particular about how we ate. For example, when my mother cooked mashed potatoes, I don't eat mashed potatoes, still don't. So what she would do is she would make sure she separated my potatoes, whatever I ate. My brother Joseph, he only ate a certain part of the chicken. So certain things, each of us had these peculiar ways. We were really kind of spoiled. I look at it now. And whatever we required, and she was a young mother too. That's another thing I need to say. My mother was 19 when she got married. And she was able to raise those children and make each of us. And to Deborah's point, she wasn't so much of a telling us, but she showed us in numerous ways how she loved her children, each of us, and she knew her children. That was the other thing. It was another amazing thing about my mother. She knew pretty much what we would do and what we would not do. So when she had to discipline us, she pretty much knew if we did it or if we didn't do it. That was another amazing, she's just an amazing woman. So I'm not going to say more about it, but I just had to weigh in on that because my mother, as everybody thinks, my mother was the best.
Toda Ima for sharing that with us. I could go on and on about my mother, but I'm not. I'm just going to give a shout out to my mother, Imo Dina by Yehuda, who my mother was similar to your mother, Ima, who cooked us all different foods. I mean, people like to say I was for you, we always for you, but I take it as that my mother loved us, right? She loved us and she did what was best for us. She had our best interests at heart. So yeah, shout out to my Ima, who still does things. She makes biscuits. Amy, I don't want biscuits. Can you make me toast? Like, and still to this day. So I'm still great. I'm grateful to still have my mother
Right.
in my life at this time. All right. So moving right along, we are going
Before you go to the next one, I just want to highlight what Deborah Max said and something that Rabbi initially was speaking of, us coming out of, during slavery, us coming out of slavery, being afraid to show the affection. That love language that Deborah mentioned, that word, it was just like so powerful, because sometimes I think we measure things based on others, and from your initial first question, it's like, what would you tell yourself, your younger self or a younger person? And that's one thing, is not to measure what other people have against what you have. Because like Deborah mother, her love language was different. She showed love in a different way, So all of this, it's for like all the questions are just like coming together in this discussion. I'm loving the discussion, but I just had to say that, like, that love language, I think we should put a pin in it. If you didn't take anything away from tonight, let's put a pin in that. What is your love language? What is it that you need? I just had to say that because, like, I don't remember my mom being the same way. So maybe, and that's the other thing, right? She never used to say, I love you, but you see what she said, how much planning it took to get everyone down for Pesach, down to Atlanta. It was about 30 something people. It was a lot of them coming down. And that's her language, giving service, like Deborah mother, giving service, doing for others, love language. So let's put a pin in that one. What's your love language?
My mother too. She wasn't that I love you person. My father was the I love you kissy person. My mother, she did everything. It's never a thought. I never had a thought in my mind that my mother didn't love me.
Exactly.
I never. Like, she did everything for us. I'm so grateful. But that is, now that I'm older, we're older, she says it more because we're not with her every day, where all her children are living in different locations. So her expression of love, she cannot show us every day. So now it's like when you get the phone calls, I love you, and departing and all that stuff, the hugs and the kisses. But that my mother was in the kitchen making us donuts, making us what we wanted, what you wanted. If everybody wanted something different, she made us something different. So, I'm just grateful. All right, so moving right along. All right, the next question. What is your role or portion in building our nation? What is your role or portion in building our nation? Let us know what I can't see my YouTube right now because I can't visualize it. I don't know if we've been getting comments, questions, or what have you. But I hope that we have someone in the chat chatting it up with them. But let us know in the comments what you think, what your role or your portion in building our nation. All right, I'm waiting for some hands to go up. Come on, y'all. Raise them hands. Let me see who's sitting pretty on this chat so I can call on them.
Yafa, read that question again, please.
What is your role or portion in building our nation? I know, Brother Bowen, you should have something to say about that. because you are instrumental in building our nation. So I want to hear from you,
I
Rabbi.
feel others.
I'm sorry, Rabbi.
I think everybody has their own portion.
Well, whatever you think
I
your
think
portion is.
everybody has a specific. Okay, everybody
Okay.
has a task. And that's why God gives us talents. I can't do the things that you do, and you can't do the things that I do. In my situation, I think I am grateful beyond measure that Hashem allowed me to be a servant. And I didn't start out as a rabbi. I started out as a ordinary member. General Mother and I was the nurse and she was the usher on the weekends. And I've done everything in Congregation Temple Bethel, including clean scrub floors and clean toilets. And, I've been the president of the choir. I've been a Sabbath school teacher. I have been the controller of the temple and handled for our major constructions. I did the negotiation with the builders and the contractors and whatever. And when we opened our daycare, I was the assistant director of the daycare. And I have worn so many hats. The bottom line is, I'd like to think that I am that can-do person who will do whatever my hands will find to do in order to help to sustain the works of the eternal. And over the years, I've been there, I've done that. And I didn't just figure this out on my own, because this is what my mother did when she was alive. She was the person that did everything. Went in the kitchen and she would cook the meals, and she would hang wallpaper and scrub floors and scrub walls and what have you. So my contribution to the house of the eternal has been whatever my hands found to do. The main thing that I think was important for me is that I needed to be an example, not talking about what righteousness was, because my mother said, people can anybody can read Torah, but what Hashem wants from us is for us to live Torah. So I think my contribution is that I've been an example of trying to live Torah so that people can see in all my ways that I am walking uprightly to the best of my ability. And so that's my contribution. I want to be an example that people can look at and say, I want to be like that. I want to, this is a person that truly does honor Hashem, and I want to be like that.
Toda, Rabbi. Toda for sharing that with us. I love your answer. I know that is true because I see your many services all the ones you listed in the beginning, I didn't see, but over the years, I have seen how you have worked effortlessly and tirelessly to provide service for us and to be that example. I don't have any more hands for this particular question, but I think that if I don't have any more hands for this particular question, I would have to say to take time to think about this question. Let this be your journal prompt for tonight, right? If you find that you don't know what your role or your portion is in helping building a nation, I would say let your gifts, talents, and ability push you, propel you forward to find out what your portion is. The Most High gave us all a role, all a portion. The other thing I want to say is that sisterhood, women's empowerment, these kind of things are near and dear to my heart. And I know it's near and dear to a lot of sisters' heart as well. We are not looking to be better than the man. We're not looking to take over. We're not looking to, push forward to be above them. But we are looking to be the best Israelite woman that we can be, right? From the how we serve in our home, how we serve in our community, how we show up, for the Creator, and how we show up for righteousness, right? Who doesn't want a righteous woman? Who doesn't want a woman that will put forth her hands and use, her gifts, talents, and abilities to, even build up her own home? Because, it starts with yourself and it starts with your family in order to build up the nation. So I would definitely say that if you struggled with answer this question, that take some time to find out, what your role is. If you're feeling like, oh, people never notice me, or they don't call on me, or, people don't know who I am, or, don't always wait for someone to call you. Volunteer. That's why people know me. A lot of people know me, right? Because I volunteer. I step in. I do what I can do according to what I am able to do. If I could sing, I'll be at the front line singing, right? If I could give a good sermon, I'll be right there, giving a good one. So I would say definitely walk in the light of who you are. Be true to yourself. We're not trying to take over. We're not pinky in the brain. We're not trying to do all those things, but we want to show up and be the light that the Most High has commanded us to be, right? So yeah, that's just my thing that I wanted to say about that. I see Deborah trying to jump in here. What you want to say, girlfriend?
I just wanted to add on to what Rabbi Bowen said, is that for me, I have always been one to just kind of get in where I fit in, and I see a need and try to fill it. I mean, all of you have been to events that I've been to as a guest, and then I'm serving food or I'm doing it because I've got this adult ADD and I can't see things just not moving. So I guess my portion is to help keep things moving, moving along. But then what happens is you get thrust into positions. There are things, hence my current role as the treasurer. I've been working with money for the majority of my adult life. So I've always steered away from those voluntary positions because, I want to do something different. But you have to, as you say, you have to recognize the things that you are able to do, the input you are able to give, and recognize that that is our portion, to do the things that we are good at, whether it is the things that we like to do. In terms of that, we have to accept those. That's part of our rites of passages of being an Israelite. We have to accept that we are service people. No, we're not all Levites per se, but our job, we're fishers and hunters, we givers. Things we have to recognize is you just can't always sit on the side. If any of you who knew my Ish, we would be at an event and he will always want to know why I got to be the last one out the door. Like, can't somebody else help do that? But that's where you feel fulfilled doing those things, especially when you know you can do that and you try to play the background. That's actually going to work against you. Yes, sometimes we want others to step up, but we need to show them, like we are doing now, showing those behind us these skills and these traits so that we can sit and not do, but then also that we're more well-rounded as a nation in that we can help enlist others in building skills that they didn't even know they had, or, and make it palatable Everything doesn't have to be a chore. My sister Shoshana is not going to speak up right now, but she does acts of service too. And that is definitely one of, if not her love language. And, those are things that come to her. I'm trying to get her out of the building, and I turn around, she's washing dishes. Girl, let's go. So, but these are the things that you do automatically that you don't even think of to do. You just do them. So in doing that, she's trying to now she has learned to pull those in. Let me show you how to do this. You three, I need you to go over there and do that. So part of that is to step into more leadership roles in redirecting others who don't know what their role is or their purpose. And you see that light in them. We can show people some things that they would be good at to, help balance things out.
Okay, Toda for that. Yes. That's why these types of discussions are so important. And I'm just going to make one comment is that, when I was helping with putting this week together, I contacted someone to help out with some presentations. And, the first thing that she said was, oh, nobody never calls me. Nobody never calls on me to do anything. And I'm like, what? I said, I see you. That's why I'm calling you. Like, it's not that we don't see you, but certain people have different eye for different people and things like that. And when you see the talent of your sister, call on your sister, right? And if you have a talent that the Most High has bestowed on you, step up. I could do that. Don't come on, ladies, raise your hand when it's time to raise your hand. All right, so moving along, we're going to go to the next question.
Oh, Ima Judith have her hand raised real quick.
Okay, go ahead, Ima.
Just briefly, I want to say, as far as I'm concerned, as an elder woman, I think it's important how I comport myself and how I show up for younger women in terms of how I carry myself. So for that's one of the things. And the other thing is, I so want our people, our women, to know who they are. So everybody who knows me know I'm a history buff. And I really want people to feel who they think they are, who they say they are. So I put a lot of focus in on that. And thirdly, like my mother, there is nothing that you can tell me that shocked me. So I don't judge people. What I try to do is understand meet people where they are and help them that way. So those are three things that I would like people to know about me. That was another amazing thing about my mother. There is nothing that she was such a young woman too. It's just amazing. But there's nothing. So the thing is, in this way of life, we have to be careful, and we're trying to reach out people to somehow get across to them that we are not being judgmental, but we want to find out who they are so that they can learn who they truly are and their value. So those are the things that's important to me as an Israelite woman. Very much important to me. And I don't think you can get to that place if you really don't believe who you say you are.
Yes, Ima. Yes. Toda for sharing that with us, right? Believe who you say you are. All right, so the next question. Tell us about your experience with colorism, texturism, or featureism throughout your life. Tell us about your experience with colorism, texturism, or featureism throughout your life. If you need me to explain that, but we know colorism, how we look, our skin tones, I remember my mother told me that they had this thing where you had to pass the brown paper bag test and things like that. So I see a hand here. I see Tamar Yisrael has raised her hand, so I'm gonna let her answer.
Okay, so unfortunately, I've had experience with colorism, within my own family. So being of the darker skin tone of my family, I didn't always feel comfortable. I wasn't made to feel comfortable. I have cousins that were or are, they're still alive, are of, light skin tone. And I would always feel like I didn't get the same treatment from family members because of me being darker. I always felt like I would get, I guess, second best, or they would get the nicer toys and the nicer gifts, and this was only from certain individuals in our family. It wasn't from everyone. So my lack of self love or like started at that moment, dealing with certain family members. And then I would remember going to school, and I will always find myself comparing myself to the light skinned girls, thinking that, okay, they're getting more of the attention, and just having this thought process that, the light skinned girls with the pretty hair, is better, right? And it just seemed like, I don't know if it was just me already having that experience growing up, where now I've just have this mindset, and I've created that visual, you know what I mean, for myself, not necessarily anyone doing anything to me, but because that foundation was already set from a young age, I was like, oh, being dark skinned is not what's up. It's not the thing. So I don't know if you remember the product like Ambi. That was like one of the major products back in the day that we would use to, lighten our skin, right? But not really understanding what I was trying to do versus now, like, that this is a big industry of women of color, darker skin, doing all types of things to bleach their skin. But I would,
This is a reminder.
sorry, Alexa is going. Alexa is reminding my mother of her medicine. And so, hold on. Alexa, stop. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. And, and so, yeah, I would use that product. My mom got it for me because she knew the things that I was feeling, but then not really having that conversation with me, to lift me up, to build me up. And I don't think she did it just because not wanting to make me feel good about myself. It was just like, hey, this is what you want to do. I'm going to get this cream for you, and we're going to work it out that way. The cream didn't work, y'all. It didn't do much of anything, okay? It didn't do much of anything. And I guess that was the Most High saying, ma'am, you're beautiful the way that you are, the way that I created you, and you gonna be all right in that beautiful brown skin of yours. So now fast forward, I love who I am. I love my skin tone. And I raise my children to be proud of who they are, and to love their skin tone, and to love people no matter what their skin tone are. We are still sisters, no matter how dark, no matter how light. But that is my experience with colorism. And it scarred me for a little while, but told y'all that I've gotten to the point of being able to look myself in the mirror and love this skin I'm in.
Toda for sharing. Girlfriend, I've definitely used Ambien a time or two, but I don't know if I was actually, I think I had like little, when you start developing acne or whatever, and you get the dark marks or whatever, and I wanted that even skin tone. But yeah, I definitely was a product of Ambien. All right, so I see another hand. I see Abaya has raised her hand, and I'm going to call on her.
Can you hear me? I put an ear pod on. Can you hear me good?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so two of your terms I've never heard, texturism and featureism. Had to look them up, definitely did. Colorism, I will speak on that. Oh, let's be succinct. Colorism, I've experienced that in my culture and amongst our people, because it's the only way you can experience it, has to be amongst your people. There is a certain, in my family, like we're all over the place. My mom's family, both her mother and father's side, she wasn't raised with. So on their side, there is a lot of extremely light-skinned people. I hadn't understood why, because my mother's father is extremely dark-skinned. I didn't understand why it was. So on my mother's side, just to give you a precedent, my mother's side, they're Korean. They have Korean somewhere up in there. That's where the chinky eyes and the high cheekbones could possibly come from. Don't know. And my mother's father's side, that's the silky hair. And his grandmother is Caucasian or white or whatever you want to call it. So that's my mother's side. And my father's side, but they don't talk about what is inside of them. But I mean, we have a mix. We have a multitude. We have a lot of light skin. And on both his mother and father's side, we have a lot of dark skin. However, depending on who you're around, I think that I'm just brown skin. But I mean, they'll be like, oh, you too dark. You can't come to here. You can't come here. Or they'll flip my arm over. I've been told that. And oh, you got blue vein. I forget what that term is, blue vein something. But then there was a time in my life where being amongst my own people where they made me feel like I wasn't black enough. And it was like, you're not black enough. Meaning I'm just not black, period. Not just I'm brown. I'm just not black. You can't claim black. You live in a predominantly white neighborhood. You speak differently. Well, then I did. You speak differently. You got these chinky eyes and you have this. Or I couldn't get a compliment without being told, you're beautiful for your complexion. And I have a sister who's extremely light skinned. I mean, that was never a compliment. You know what, I would say an underhanded or backhanded compliment for her. So it'd be like, oh my goodness. So sometimes I would soak and bathe in the sun. And then sometimes I would be scared of the sun. Oh my goodness, we went to summer camp one year and we soaked and bathed in the sun. And I guess because of the texture of my hair turned blonde. It was honey blonde. And my hair is very, very soft, but it gets puffy. But I got extremely dark and everyone called me Blackie. And I'm like, why are you calling me Blackie? You're black, you got black, you're purple. And I'm like, what? And it just really hurt my feelings. So for a while I was scared of the sun. So that's some of, and I have more, but that's some of my experience with colorism, texturism with my hair. I still struggle with that. I always stay with my hair in a ponytail or braids. I never wear my hair out because it's like when people see your hair, one, I don't want you to run your fingers through my hair because that's my crown, it's secret. Don't do that. But they'll see my hair and they'll say, you got good hair. And I'm like, I'm a braid stylist, I failed to mention earlier. I'm a braid stylist. Good hair is healthy hair. I don't care what the texture is. And so people say, you have good hair. Oh, it flows. It's long. It's this. It's that. Oh, look at them baby hairs. You don't even have to tint. You can just use water. And it just bothers me because it makes me remember when I felt like I wasn't black enough. Featureism is something that I kind of experienced, not just in our own culture. I experienced that all over the place. And most recently, I went to a store to buy some glasses, and it was like this Korean store. And oh my goodness, he was so mean to like 3 people before me. And then when I came, he's just like, I had nothing to say. I just wanted to make my purchase and go. I honestly should have just left, but I really wanted those glasses. So I wanted to make my purchase. I should have made my purchase and just left, but I really wanted those glasses. So he was like, are you Asian? And I'm like, what made you say that? And he was being so nice and he gave me samples and everything, which I left. And he was like, you have to be Asian. And I had a mask on and everything. And he was like, well, your cheekbones. And it's like, your eyes. I can see your nose. You gotta be Asian. I was like, so because I have features similar to yours, that makes you be nicer to me, even though I have the same color skin as those 3 people that were in front of me. You know, and so those are things that you kind of think of. And sometimes, you know, I'm a lot stronger now, but I have experienced some things. I mean, you know, people, even as your girlfriends, they might say something, you know, like, girl, don't say that because, you know, I'm sensitive to that. So those are my experiences with colorism, featureism, and texturism.
Toda for sharing that with us. And even about your family and things like that. All right, I see Ima Judith hand. We are almost out of time. I did pull another question, but I'm going to let Ima speak.
I'm going to be brief, and I was trying to not say anything, but I can do a dissertation on this. And what I'm going to do is not a dissertation, but I will write something about this to share with our Israelite sisters, because I noticed one thing Tamar said. She has learned better, but she said, oh, pretty hair. See, it's still somewhere in there. No, straight hair. There's a difference between pretty hair and straight hair. And too many black women think that straight hair is pretty hair because that's where they were taught. The other thing that Tamar and Abaya said that is so key. This is another personal thing that I have. The two things that they said that was so key: family. That kind of thing starts before you go out into the larger world. It begins in family. Once your family affirm you, and I can tell you from personal experience, couldn't nobody tell me they look better than me, because the community that I came up in, Commandment Keeper of Ethiopian congregation, very African-centered people, and my family. So no one could ever tell me that I didn't look good. I'm going to, and I don't want to say a whole lot tonight, but I am going to do a paper on this and share it with the young women.
Toda Ima, for sharing that with us. Maybe when we have our Ahava event, maybe that could be something that you can bring forth. We usually have that around May. So maybe around that time, you can bring forth a message on how to love the skin that we're in.
Absolutely. I would absolutely love to do that. And I'm going to prepare it.
Yes, Toda. All right. So I pulled another question, and we almost out of time. We got a few more minutes. But the question is, what is your reaction when you hear the phrase Proverbs 31 woman? So yes, what is your reaction when you hear the phrase Proverbs 31 woman? So I was going to jump right into this. I know that Proverbs 31 scares a lot of women, but Proverbs 31 is my jam. All right. Proverbs 31 helped me understand a lot of the things that my mother was teaching me. Proverbs 31 helped me find a role model, right? When we think we can't find a role model and we're looking outside of, our area of women, the women that we have at disposal. Proverbs 31 is that thing that I discovered, on my own to really help and shape and guide me, as a woman. And I don't know, Proverbs 31, I just love everything about Proverbs 31. I definitely do not back away from all the different things that are listed in what consists as, a Proverbs 31 woman. I want to say that a lot of people often bring up the point that a Proverbs 31 woman was a married woman, right? But I want to say that you shouldn't wait until you're married, right, to practice the things that are listed in Proverbs 31, right? How to work willingly with your hands, right? How to be a good servant, how to be a good steward of your gifts, talents, and abilities, how to dress well, right? How to speak, right? The law of kindness, how to have the law of kindness on your tongue, right? Praising the Creator, all the different things that are listed in Proverbs 31. You shouldn't wait to discover yourself and become true to who you are, after you get married. But try to practice those things so that you could be well equipped before, that time. But a lot of things, that Proverbs 31 is listed, like spinning, on the spindle and creating yarn and thread and things like that. You may not be able to do that. Or let me just better say that you may not be able to do all of the things listed in Proverbs 31, but you can gather resources. You can gather, people, right, that do provide those services to help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and so that you can maintain yourself and your home and your children, right? Maybe it's overwhelming. You have to go out to work every day and you have to do all these things. But when you prioritize yourself, you take some time for some self-care. Like I see all kinds of self-care in Proverbs 31, right? By even taking care of yourself, presenting yourself, right? She goes afar to get her groceries. That means she takes time to, get the things that she needs that to provide for her home. She works, she buys land, like it's entrepreneurship. There's so many different things in Proverbs 31. And if you are one of those who despise Proverbs 31, I would just say embrace it, because it helps you discover who you are, and what is required of you. So do I have any hands who would like to answer that question? What is your reaction when you hear the phrase Proverbs 31? If not, I'm going to, all right, Yiska. Yes, Yiska. All right, I'm going to call on you so you can unmute.
Okay, I absolutely love Proverbs 31 as well. And so when I hear the phrase or Proverbs 31 woman, I automatically think of virtuous, meaning of high moral standards, all about how you carry yourself, how you're presenting yourself, your characteristics, your meekness, your humbleness. It even includes strength. To me, that Proverbs 31 was definitely someone to be admired. Again, I definitely love it. And again, it's just based on the righteousness, your love to the Most High, and how you present yourself and your moral standards. And again, that's just what sticks out to me when I hear Proverbs 31. Good, righteous, moral standards, the a high love for the Most High, with sincerity and truth. And like you said, she's always up and doing whatever you find your hands to do. She's doing it. She's making it happen. And that's Proverbs 31 to me.
Toda. All right, my timekeeper is letting me know that our time, we have like 1 minute. But I just don't want this conversation to end. Kaya, can I pull one more question, just one more, and then we are going to end. I'm going to pull one more, right? I hope it's a good one. All right, here we go. This is our last question. Oh, this is a good one. Wow. What is your favorite thing about being an Israelite woman? I found a good question. What is your favorite thing about being an Israelite woman? Everybody here should go up here. Are you chatting? Are they chatting in the YouTube chat? Come on, give me some hands. Who we got here? Anybody else want to say? Come on, ladies. Yes, you want to answer again? Yes, girlfriend.
In its simplest form, I am chosen. I am of the royal family. I am the people. We are the people. So when I hear that, I love it. I am thankful that I am a part of this particular nation, because again, we're royal. I come from a royal family, royal bloodline, our ancestors, our forefathers, foremothers, it's just royalty. So that's what I get from it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes, I love everything about being an Israelite woman. I love everything. From being a mother, from being a servant. I love everything. Preparing food to make sure I have the right clean foods in my house. Keeping the Shabbat. Like, yes, like you said, we are royalty. We are the people. So, I like to say, like, I like to do the most. Call me mostly. If you're gonna call me anything, call me mostly, because I'm gonna do the most for the creator, right? And I'm gonna do the most to represent him. And I'm gonna do the most. Not saying I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. I have flaws, but at the end of the day, right? The Most High said, when you turn and repent from the things that you have done in your past, he will forgive them no more. So I don't live in a state of, okay, I messed up here. I'm not worthy enough anymore. No, I'm still worthy. As long as the Most High give me breath, I'm worthy, right? I'm capable. I am phenomenal, right? I am amazing. I am all that the Most High has called me to be. So I love being an Israelite woman without a doubt. I wouldn't change it for the world, right? So who else? I think did I see another here? I think Kaya's kind of trying to tell me like, okay, time is up. But yes, Kaya, come forth and let us know what you want to say.
Yes, I am the timekeeper. I'm still at work.
All right, so
No,
that is
I would answer the question real quick. Like
okay.
you
Go ahead.
said royalty, just the uniqueness of it, that to be different, growing like my mother. So that's why I get all of my confidence. Like she said, like, that's from generation to generation. And it's not even in a cocky way. It's just that we truly know who we are as sons and daughters of Yisrael. And that right there was just like, just being unique, growing up in Harlem, everybody did all kinds of things. And, it was a no brainer to me. It was just like, well, I don't do that. I don't. We have a standard. There was a standard of living. There's a standard of being, and knowing that, and living that, and exhibiting that to others. That's when people was like, oh, you're just so different. But to me, it was just being unique. It was just, being who we are, just living the way that we live. That's why we say, we tell people, no, I don't have a religion. I have a way of life. We live this from the time that we wake up to the time that we go to sleep. And everything that we do it with a conscious effort to make sure that we're serving the creator of the universe, that we're giving back, we're giving mitzvahs, we're making sure that we're sharing our light, because that's what we're supposed to be, a light unto the world. And that part of being an Israelite woman is just like, that's amazing to me. It's awesome, that we're
Yeah.
unique.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna share this last thing. I want to give a shout out to my father, right, Zaqueen Yeroa Ben Yehuda, who helped shape and mold me as a young girl, and even teaching me to discover my uniqueness and my beauty, and how I should carry myself. It was my father who gave me books and told me how to walk and how I'm supposed to do certain things. As you get older, you develop your own thing. But one thing about when I was a youth, I'm going to speak about when I was a youth, a little one. My father, right, he was strict, but he wasn't that strict. He was strict. I couldn't spend the night at people's houses. I just couldn't go any and everywhere, right? So I was very monitored. But at the same time, he learned, or he discovered, I guess, within himself as a father, that I'm not going to deprive her from having fun and things like that. If I wanted to go to the movies. Like, my father was the chaperone. He took us all to the movies, and what my friends had to do, they had to wear skirts too, right? I was the only one with the skirt on, but my father said, if you want to come with us, right, you have to wear a skirt. If you want to go to the ice cream parlor with us, you have to wear a skirt. So, in my mind, I'm thinking like, well, I want to be like my friends. I want to dress like them, but all my friends obliged, and they said, okay, I'm going home, change my clothes right now. I'll be right back. So I know that as parents, we want to keep our a tight grip on our children and things like that, but you got to go the extra mile so that they won't feel ashamed, right? So they won't feel like they can't do the things that all the other kids are doing, right? You know, oh, you know, you want to eat out? Well, my father's going to take us to this special restaurant where we can go and have a dinner and, you know, 5-star meal, but it's clean, it's good. So I'm just so grateful that for that experience. So with that being said, I'm going to call the last hand, and that will be our last hands. And then we're going to do a little brief announcement, and then we will retire for the night. So I just want to thank everyone for sticking in there and joining the conversation. I hope that everyone that is on YouTube is, you know, I hope that everyone on YouTube enjoyed the conversation. I encourage you to try to do this within your groups, wherever you are, to have some nice conversations, enlightening and things like that. So Ima Inez, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Thank you very much for taking my hand at the last minute. And I want to give honor to and respect to our overseer Daly, Rabbi Daly, and to our Rabbi Bowen, and to the phenomenal women. And for each and every one, I enjoyed this session. And we're just listening to the different ones. And especially, I was trying to see the young, I can't even see. Let me see. Oh, and she was saying about how she didn't, she had a complex about her complexion and all. And just looking at you, I want you to know that you are a very beautiful young lady, and I love your skin tone. And I've always said, you know, I understand what you were saying, because when I was younger, I said, oh, I'm not beautiful like everybody else. And I'm not, and you get a complex. But then one day my my girlfriend, Amanda Washington, and she told me, she said, get confidence in yourself. Every morning you get up and you look in the mirror and you say, I am beautiful, I am gorgeous, and don't care who don't like it. Get confidence. And I took hold of that, and I tell her now, Mensa, I appreciate that, because I don't let anyone tell me, maybe I'm not the prettiest person in the world to you, but I am most gorgeous. And had a complex, and most people are saying about the hair. Well, my father's hair, we're Indians, have a lot of Indian and all of that. My grandmother was Indian and whatnot, but I didn't bank off of that. And people would say, oh, you got such pretty hair. You got gorgeous hair. You got real good hair. And I look and I'm saying, if you got hair on your head, it's good. So I would get a complex from people always telling me that I had good hair. I just wanted to be normal. Yes, I had long hair, but I wanted short hair. I didn't worry about all of that long flowing hair. I just wanted hair on my head. And so it doesn't matter as how much hair you got on it. If you don't take care of it, it's not good. But to dress, oh my gosh, I love this. And people would say, oh, you can't wear pants because of your religion. And I says, I can't wear pants because I can't wear pants. I don't wear pants. I don't do this. I like my femininity. And even in school, our teachers taught us how to carry ourselves when we are out in the street. My mother taught us how to dress and whatnot. And when I came to Philadelphia, and I was under the leadership of our mother dearly, may she ever rest in peace. And my mother said, when you get there, you do not make me ashamed, and you definitely not going to make her ashamed. But most of all, don't make your own self ashamed. So it doesn't matter. I wasn't a person that wore dresses up to my other knees, my other thighs, and my other this, but it was just, and I've always carried that with me. So as being a Israelite or being a Jew or being whoever, but to be righteous, you don't have to expose yourself to all of that because you're not doing, everybody sees what you see, but it should be that you carry yourself in a respectable way. I never was a person that went sleeveless. I never did. It was just, and the other day I read something that the Queen of England, her standard there was in a dress that of how a woman should carry herself. And I said, oh my gosh, I never knew they did that. But she says you don't show but so much. You didn't wear all kinds of colors on your nails, and you didn't do all of, and you had to. And I love hats. I love hats. So I mean, it's nothing that says in there that you had to wear a hat, but your head covers and bonnets, as we use, for glory and for beauty. And I just thank the Creator for that because this is something that has reared up, and I've, it's kind of hard to explain, but I never had that with the colors so much because you're who you are. So I just like to encourage you that you are beautiful and your skin tone is you. So I thank the Creator for that, and I thank you all for allowing me to have this little say, and I don't ever want to make the Creator has to get me for not presenting myself in that Proverbs 31. And you don't have to wait until you're married to do this. You want to do it for yourself. Be respectable. And I think this is a good thing. And I'm so glad I was able to get on tonight. And thank you for accepting my little say. Thank you.
Toda, Ima, Toda for sharing that with us. I appreciate your words, and I'm sure the young lady appreciates it as well. So we have come to the end of our night. This was so nice. I just want to make two quick announcements. The first announcement is tomorrow, 6 a.m. is our new moon service. The Zoom is going to be on Zoom. It will not be televised here on YouTube. But call a friend, ask a friend. They got the Zoom code, and it's on the flyers. So just look for that. And then tomorrow evening, we have a segment at 6 p.m. Called What's Love Got to Do with It? And we will be amplifying Hebrew love. So we will be showcasing some beautiful, successful marriages here within our community. So with that being said, I would like to say shalom. And quickly, I just want to thank the Most High for allowing us to come together and to have this moment with his daughters, right, his mothers and his sisters, and just thanking everyone for just blessing everyone to be happy and healthy and whole, to even come forth and even speak their truth amongst the peoples, amongst the nations. And I thank you for all of our lives, and just praying that everyone have a restful night, and to be ready to get up and to praise thy name once again. Hallelujah. Amen. So good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Good
Toda for
night.
having.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Palo.
everyone.
Good night.